Hi, my name is Piper, and I'm from Hotwan. Today I'd like to go over some of the functionality and features of the Pen Test Assistant, a product that we've been working on for a few years now and sell at conferences such as DEF CON, ShmooCon, Black Hat, and Hack in the Box. It runs on a Raspberry Pi 4B with 8 gig of RAM, and it's a compilation of a whole bunch of hacker tools and security tools with the concept of automation in mind. So it's great as a standalone Dropbox for on-site assessment, or you can use it against customer IPs and domains from the internet. Another product I want to point out is the AI Red Team Assistant, formerly known as a companion VM. This has local AI built on board to it, so it means like AI models that don't need internet access. So like the Pen Test Assistant, it doesn't need internet access in order to function, and it doesn't need to phone home to somewhere in order to work. Okay, so it can totally be standalone. But the drive for the AI Red Team Assistant is so it has more RAM and CPU, not GPU, capabilities to run models and look at test results and learn tools and run tools. So there's another video for that goes into that. But for the Raspberry Pi 4B, it does have hookups to ChatGPT that you can leverage. Like I believe Pentest GPT is there, and some others that you can leverage. But those require internet access back to ChatGPT, and that's an option if you want. We do have a local model on the Raspberry Pi, but it's very slow. So it is what it is, and that's why we came up with our own cloud AI platform that integrates with the Pen Test Assistant that is pretty powerful in its own right. So it has AI models that you can upload your test results to Cloud AI, and it will interpret them and make recommendations and tell you what's vulnerable and whatnot, to give you an extra perspective from an AI point of view. It's not required, and you don't have to enable it, but it's there in the next couple of months as an offer to augment your Pen Test Assistant. Okay, and next steps, let's go through the creds of how to log on to the box, and that is HOTWAN is the username, and the password is HOT123 plus as the password. And you do want to change the password before you connect the Raspberry Pi to the desktop. And it's better to use SSH keys. We have instructions for all this in the manual. And anyways, let's get into logging into the box here. And we'll go into some of the options and configurations of what this Pen Test Assistant is all about. 1, 2, 3 plus. All right. Okay, so what we have here is on the desktop the build notes. This has pretty much all the instructions, how to access the system, what tools are on board, how to configure it. First thing I recommend is the Pen Test Assistant manual. It tells you how to configure networks, Wi-Fi, BLE, scanners, exploiters, SSH keys, all that good stuff. And then we have the tools list. So what's on board? Okay. Now the Raspberry Pi has of March 31st, 154 automated tools, 382 tool count. The VM companion, or the Red Team Assistant, has a lot more than 195, and we just haven't gotten into, this is another platform altogether. Basically, the Raspberry Pi tools are, incorporated into the VM, and then we go further. So the tools are broken out in terms of, network or web or APIs, Azure, AWS, that type of thing. And the A's mean that they're automated to a certain degree. Okay, so a lot of tools will have, different configurations, different permutations, different switches, that type of things. And so if you wanted to use a tool manually, then we have the abbreviated notes that tell you how to access each and every tool, right? So you can change to a working directory, launch a virtual Python instance in this case, and that type of thing. So it tells you how to access every tool, and that goes on and on and on and on for several tools. One thing I do want to point out, so the Wi-Fi hardware and the Bluetooth, we're supporting this for BLE, and then Wi-Fi, this is the current hardware that we support. So you can buy these two as well online. Okay, so with that, let's go into the automation piece. You can start it off by the little green button here, or the one down here, just one click. And what this will do is it will launch a web browser that opens up several different tabs, and then there are also different menus. This particular dashboard is called, version 2.x, and within the AI Red Team Assistant, we have this dashboard that is currently being implemented there, and then it'll roll over into your Raspberry Pi Pen Test Assistant. But just to give you a preview, it's like a one-page launch of a pen test. You can give the pen test a name like test 234 or whatever, and different options. Hotwind AI Analytics is the cloud AI piece if you wanted to enable that. We have scanners and exploiters. So, let's say, for example, different templates. You want to, I don't want to scan Amazon. I don't want to, exploit databases. You have those options. You can do source code analysis as well. Some of the features like lateral movement, privilege escalation, persistence, stealth mode, session management of exploits. All this can be performed manually at this time on the Pen Test Assistant, but we're working towards automation, so you'll see that come out. Targets, wide variety of targets. You can enter URLs, IP addresses with port ranges, things of that nature. You can pick a target, say 127.0.0.78. You can upload targets as well. You'll have this feature of authentication if you're able to snatch some creds somewhere. Launch the test. So that's just a demo of this, and this is currently being worked on. It's in its Alpha 2 release, but the more tried and proven dashboard that works today is this one here. And so we're automating several hundreds of hacker tools and security tools to make it easier for you in your assessment, right? And we can do code analytics too, combined in with that. This generates a lot of reports, like over 500 reports. And we have this feature here to where you can consolidate all the reports from all the different hacker tools and put it all in one report, okay? I did mention that we do have local AI running on the Pen Test Assistant here, the Raspberry Pi, but it's very, very slow. And what we're waiting on is like the Raspberry Pi 5B, which is yet to be made. But when that comes out with, say, 16 gig of RAM, that's when we're going to really start piling on the local AI systems to the Raspberry Pi. And local as I mean, it doesn't require internet access. Okay. In between releases, we typically do releases once a month, and this will update the entire image from scratch and then back up the operating system and all that stuff and all the files locally. In between that, if you're getting ready to do a test and you wanted to update some tools, you can navigate to here and update a certain amount of tools. Okay, some tools will try to automate or update themselves before they run, and in a restricted environment, say like you're deep down in a network and you're firewalled off and stuff, some tools will break because of that. It's just the way they're coded, whoever the authors did it, and don't worry about it because there's lots of other tools out there to take advantage of, since we're dealing with hundreds, right? And you can, do source code analytics in a secure fashion as well. For example, no internet needed. You can just Wi-Fi to the Raspberry Pi and upload your source code, click a button and run, and it'll analyze the source code on the Wi-Fi, on the Raspberry Pi, and then you can pull the files off the Raspberry Pi, either Wi-Fi or through the SD card, SSH, SCP, something like that. Different configurations. All right, so we'll take a look at, say, network scanner. Network scanner, you can click the cell. Now this was like originally designed with Jupyter notebooks because we were involved with machine learning, and this is like very popular in data science, Jupyter notebooks. And I think there's like some, red, blue, and purple team exercises that can be loaded into Jupyter notebooks as well. But anyways, this is sort of old school for us, being that we're rolling out with the new version of the dashboard and stuff, but it still works, and you can add, in fact, tailor your own scripts in here to run. You click the cell by just clicking in the area where the cell is, and then you click run. That's why we call it run books. And then what's loaded in the database is, whatever was there, and then we can, obviously, if we want to keep that, we can. If we want to go to something else, and then, www.com, you can go on, right? So you can put in more than one target. And then enter. And so it'll launch the test. Okay, so what happens is it's running it in the background, and it populates the gig folder on the desktop under the reports. So you'll see the network scanner results, and then it's kicking off scans, all right, as it keeps going. All right, let's go do a scan for code. All right, going back to scanners, recon, code scanner. All right, so in order to use a code scanner, you want to be able to obviously upload your code, and that's in the desktop gig code folder, so you can put your code in here, right? Or another option is you can use OwnCloud, which is basically your local web storage, right? And it's the same username and password. That logs in locally, so it's 127, and then you put your code in here, okay? So two different options. You can either put it in the folder or here. What happens when you press a scanner, the code scanner, it will copy what's ever here and put it in here, and then run all the tools against it. And you just click it, the cell, and then click run. Okay, and then you can tell that it's running because it'll have like some features here, like scan in progress and stuff. And then you'll see a little star key that means it's running. Okay. And once again, we can come over here. You can go to the reports directory, and then there's the code, and it starts running whatever tests are involved. All right. Going back to the scanners and exploiters, if you want to see real-time data, things like that, or you want to consolidate reports, you can go in there and launches Jupyter Notebooks, which we call runbooks again. And as soon as that guy loads here, you'll be able to click the cell and then run the process of looking at the thing. So you can look at individual tests run, or you can consolidate results. So again, just click the cell, click run. And what that'll do is it'll take whatever reports are generated at that time and then create a consolidated report of the different test results. Now this can be plugged into AI for analytics. Okay, so different types of tools. Here we're running Bandit. We have several hundreds of checks. I guess there's here's something going on in the network scanner. So it's combining the code scanner and the network scanner test results, putting everything all into one. This would get plugged into AI. And let's see, one other thing too that we have is a wiki page that, you know, supplements or adds to the build notes with the abbreviated notes, right? So wiki and that. But this is really where everything is at. Okay. And I think that will wrap it up. A lot of the tools that we've integrated into the system are located in the applications directory. So you'll see like a bunch of tools in there, and you know, goes on and on and on and on. Payloads is a very popular directory in which we have payloads for just about everything, and those can be leveraged. You know, they could be usernames and passwords, server-side request forgery types of attacks, you name it. SQL injection, cross-site scripting, payloads, XXEs, all that web stuff is in there as well. So anyways, that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed it, and please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.